Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, Mario Heron. Again, I'm going to ask you if you like the show or if you're just listening and you have nothing to do. Please click the like button. And if you want to subscribe, that's even better for us. That means you know exactly when the shows are going to happen. Right now, since football season, the season part has ended. We will be on twice a week. And so you will be notified exactly when those shows happen. And then, of course, if you like it, you listen to the show, we ask for you to play in its entirety. I'm going to tell you everything that we need. If you want to come over and paint my house after that, you can do that too. I need that done also. So there's a lot we need, but the most important part is what's going on with the show. So a couple things.
No, hold on. You forgot
yeah.
the big announcement.
Oh, go ahead. You announce it.
I feel like Mario should do it, but I can do it, Mario. Do you want me to do it?
All three should do it.
All
Make
right,
sure everyone knows about it.
two,
Yeah.
all right. Live chat next show. We're going to do our first live show next week, 3 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Be there on YouTube. It's going to be the first live show we've ever done. We're going to try not to cuss. Mario has to do editing sometimes for us, especially Dave. He has a horrible mouth. But we're going to do our first live show on Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. So please be there and interact with us. We'd love to talk to you guys live.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, save it, put it down. You might think, it's important to put your meetings and remind yourself for meetings in your schedule. Wipe your calendar clean. All right. If there's a doctor's appointment, kick it to next week. It doesn't matter. I don't even care if it's your wife's pregnancy appointment. Kick that out. That kid can wait. It's Bolt City, 3 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, and 9 p.m. Italy time. So, if you get the Italians in there too, you guys are all welcome.
What day is this? This is Thursday the 22nd, you said? Or are we going to Tuesday the 20th?
Well, you're
what are we
killing
doing?
the listeners. 15th this week.
15th.
In 2 days.
You said next Thursday. Well, I guess it is the next Thursday. All right. In 2 days, we're doing this? All right. I'm ready to go.
Someone really pays
We'll be.
attention.
Me and Mario will be there. You can show up on the
I'll
20th.
start sucking on
Yeah,
soap.
you can
clean
show
my mouth
that.
up. All right. So the 15th is when we're going to do this. Got
Yes.
it. All right. All right. Excited. Ready to go. All right. Just for the record, Mario, who do you have to edit the most on this show out of the three of us?
Ooh. That's a really good question.
Dude, it bothers me that you aren't saying, go ahead.
Wait,
No,
what?
it's
What are you
probably
gonna
you.
say?
Yeah,
no,
it's
it's
you.
me.
Definitely you.
It's you.
Yeah.
Mario, it has to be you. It's me?
All right. We're tied. Like, Josh is definitely the one that's been the least. Yeah. Josh has never dropped hasn't dropped the bomb. Actually, wait, no. There's one time you dropped the bomb. So I remember
I
editing
did
it.
once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I almost
I know.
forgot about it.
We're not going to talk
I was
about
listening.
that. It's in the past.
It's deleted from history.
Yep.
It's all right.
All right. There you go. Well, I like the fact we're going live because whenever I find out that I got edited, it bothers me. I always think I do a clean show. All right. So it wasn't a joke. And I'm disappointed.
No, I know. There's one time I edited you and you texted me and you're like pretty angry. I was like, dude, it wasn't anything.
I was.
personal. Like, I was just trying to make sure.
I did. I took it personal. I did. I'm like, what? I got edited? Yeah, a little frustrated. All right. So before we move on to Charger football, one thing I want to ask you, because one of the topics of conversation since the Super Bowl is the fact that how many guys didn't understand the overtime rules, in the Super Bowl. And then when you're seeing guys on the 49ers or the Chiefs and they're throwing coaches under the bus or they're throwing the organization under the bus and going, one of the big reasons, that team lost the Super Bowl or we lost the Super Bowl is because the Niners didn't know the rules, because the Niners won the coin toss, but they wanted the ball first. And people are losing their mind, pointing the finger again, like it's not bad enough you lost the Super Bowl, but now you're in a situation where basically your coaching staff wasn't prepared, is what people are saying. Is that fair on Kyle Shanahan and his staff to say, hey, you didn't know the rules, and that's one of the reasons you lost the Super Bowl?
Why is it Kyle Shanahan's fault? Is he supposed to hold court and give everybody the rules to overtime? Isn't that what the referees do when they do the coin toss? I don't understand why we have to blame Kyle Shanahan for everything. Does he piss down his leg when things matter? Yeah. But he doesn't need to explain the rules to everyone all the time. I mean, these are grown men. Remember Donovan McNabb did understand the rules? I know it's a Super Bowl. It's a much bigger stage. But I don't think it's Kyle Shanahan's fault to explain it to everybody. What about all the position coaches? They can't tell their own position groups what the rules are? Shouldn't they know the rules?
No, I kind of agree with you. I think he kind of gets an unfair shake in it. And I think the thing that we always forget is we've learned like these great coaches, and Belichick's kind of been like a big thing in this. Is Belichick always knew like a little thing in the rules that no one else knew, and then he always used that to his advantage, like the little smarter thing. John Harbaugh does the same thing sometimes. Like, oh, that was really smart. You like find like a little loophole. Shanahan obviously did not do that. Look, one, I think it's incredibly just stupid of what the NFL does with their OT. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, the problem with their OT is just do it the college way, make it super fun, make it super exciting, and get the hell on away from it. Like, that, the whole just rule change is stupid, anyways. I also got mad, Dave, with the amount of blame that Shanahan got for taking the ball first. Like, he just keeps getting killed for that. I kind of understood it because I think his defense, I guess, is that he thought, look, my defense is tired. We get the ball, we get to send a message quick. And I get the rest my defense when they come back sharp. And, my defense did pretty well in the first half. Why not trust them in the second half? They've been great all year. Yeah, Patrick Holmes on the other side. But I think that was more of a thought process. And you would have thought, like, I don't know, he put in Sam Darnold the way he's been, like, for this. Like, it's that to me, I'm like, all right, let's calm down on Kyle.
Okay, so as far as the rule part goes, I don't like teams or leagues where they change the rules for the postseason. Like, the rules should be the same all the way through, and to sit there and change the rules for the postseason doesn't make any sense. You understand why, people are confused. An NFL game should never end in a tie, and that's the way it goes. If you finish the first overtime and nobody scores, the game ends in a tie. People say, "Oh, it's dangerous," and the guys are tired. Whatever. Then someone's not going to be in shape, and then one team's going to win the game. That's the way it's going to go. So, different overtime rules for the postseason. Obviously, we need a winner. But I agree with what you said, Mario, right there. The 49ers defense wasn't stopping the Chiefs. It didn't matter what they said. All it was going to give the Chiefs an opportunity to go down the field and score and then hope the Niners could match. The Niners, by the way, when they did get the ball first in overtime, they were going for a touchdown. They were going right down the field, no problem, until there was a major penalty that created a third and long situation. And then all of a sudden there's a sack, and next thing you know, you're kicking a field goal, and then the Chiefs have the ball. But my thing is, as a guy that loves team sports, I'm not a big fan of individual sports. I love the team atmosphere. You win as a team, you lose as a team. And if I'm John Lynch, the guy who's the general manager of the Niners, and I put this roster together, I'm literally looking at it going, who opened their mouth after the season? And which guy's part of this organization, which guy isn't? I mean, I start making cuts on that. That guy's not one of us. I don't need guys who point the fingers. I need guys that are going to say, what can I do to be better to help us get to where we need to be? And that stuff bothers me. I hate guys when it's over and they quick to point fingers or to throw coaches or teammates under the bus. Not a fan of that at all. I thought the way the Niners handled that was poor. Also, even McCole Hardman, who caught the game-winning touchdown, he didn't realize the game was over. I mean, he threw the ball away. You want to hold that ball, right? You just scored the game-winning touchdown in a Super Bowl. There's no way you're giving that ball up. He just chucked it. Hey, I'm not going to need this. He threw it to the side. He didn't know the rules. Patrick Mahomes had to tell him, we just won the Super Bowl. He was shocked. But yeah, it's one of those, whereas just a fan of team sports, it bothers me. So I'm going to follow up that question with this. I said this before. You guys disagreed with me. Would you rather be the team that loses in the NFC or AFC championship game than be the team that loses in the Super Bowl? The pain factor of losing in the Super Bowl.
I'd rather lose in the Super Bowl. And I know how you feel about that. Like you said, the pain factor of making it all the way there and then losing. I mean, dude, I just want to get to the big game. If you lose, man. But you got to get there to win it. You can't win from the AFC or NFC championship. You got to make it to the Super Bowl. So I remember when I was a kid, I lied to myself because we lost in the semifinals and said, I'd rather lose here than lose in the championship. But in my head, I knew I wanted to make it to the championship. You get to play at the cool stadium in front of everybody. You want to make it to the Super Bowl to say, hey, I made it to the Super Bowl, even if you do lose.
I might have changed my tune, but let me change it up a little bit. If it's the first time my QB's been there, I'd rather them not make it at all than lose. So I'd rather lose in like the AFC or NFC championship, because the last 18 QBs to lose their Super Bowl debut haven't made it back. It's a pretty crazy stat. It's like that term. Yeah. So that term is just, obviously, if you take a look at these quarterbacks too, I'm not going to go through them all, but let's just say they're not really exactly the cream of the crop. Shout out Rex Grossman. But if it's one of those where, like, I have a Brady, I have a Mahomes, I have a quarterback that's been there multiple times, yeah, I'll take a Super Bowl loss. Like, just the fact that you got there and you'd be like, hey, like, our team was good. We wrote it out like it was a fun season. I'll take that 10 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10.
They always use that stat all the time about teams in Super Bowl play. What is the overall record, right? You don't hear about it at AFC and NFC championship games. It's always like this is your permanent record. Like used to get threatened in junior high. Hey, if you get caught smoking in the bathroom, it's going on your permanent record. You're like, where's that record? But you know, they always use that permanent record against you. The Super Bowl is your permanent record. What are you as a franchise? The Niners were a team that was undefeated in Super Bowls, and now they've lost 3 in a row. You know, so you go, well, how dominating is that franchise? You know, the Steelers, until they finally lost a Super Bowl, you go, man, the Steelers are undefeated in Super Bowls. That's a big deal. Then you have teams like the Vikings who are 0-4 in Super Bowls, the Bills 0-4 in Super Bowls. Even though it's different players, it's all associated with your franchise of not being able to do it. Remember, well, you're too young, but John Elway couldn't win a Super Bowl. You know, he lost 3 of them before he finally won one. And it was, you know, jokes all over the place. I remember that the joke that, did you hear John Elway couldn't get into his house? And of course, what do you mean? What happened? Somebody put an end zone in front of the front door, you know, and it was just jokes everywhere that John Elway couldn't win. He couldn't get in the end zone, couldn't score points. And so it just follows you around. When you're a loser, you're known as a loser, no matter how great you are, really, as an individual player.
Yeah. I think Charger fans are tired of us talking about the Super Bowl, but do you guys realize, like, you have to beat the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl? Do people not understand that whole thing?
Yeah.
Like, you don't just wake up in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Like,
you
if
got to
you're
win
the
the
Panthers,
AFC West. like
if you're the Panthers, like, oh, we got the Chiefs on our schedule. Well, hey, we've had them on the schedule 2 years. I mean, 2 times every year.
Yeah.
You know, who you complaining to? You know, this is in our division. Like, we want to host a playoff game once in a while. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah. And I know we're going to talk about the schedule right now. Sorry, Mario, for completely cutting you off right now. I know we're about to talk about the schedule. My prediction is the Chargers are going to get the Chiefs in the Chiefs home opener because of Harbaugh. That is my prediction.
In the Thursday night game?
Yeah. I know I'm crazy. Crazy.
Dude, why not? What happened last time? The Lions played the Chiefs. The Lions won.
Yeah, which didn't mean anything, but yeah.
That didn't mean a damn
nothing
thing.
in the end. Travis Kelce didn't play. Yeah. Didn't mean anything. By the way, if that does happen, Josh, and Chargers win that game, oh boy, will takes be firing. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like that being said, February 13th, you know, everyone can time date this or whatever. When that happens, the Chargers win, you will probably hear me say Super Bowl pretty freaking fast. Just saying.
We'll start reserving our hotel rooms. Look.
Yeah.
All right. So if the Chargers open up, I love that deal. I hope that happens, Josh, because if the Chargers get that situation, they get 10 days off for their next game, right? We always talk about how you sneak in like an extra bye. You know what I mean? When you get that rest, that, hey, if things go well, even better, you have 10 days. If things don't go well, you have 10 days to prepare. You have an advantage over the next team you're going to face. I really do hope they open up on that Thursday against the Chiefs. That'd be pretty cool. And the ratings would be great. And last thing I'll say, and we'll move on from the Super Bowl. The ratings, by the way, 212 million people watched this Super Bowl. It was the highest rated Super Bowl of all time. Is that because of strictly the Chiefs and the 49ers and their franchise and how great the NFL is? Or was the female audience there a little bit more because of the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce situation?
Ooh, I think the Taylor Swift situation, there's way more people watching it, right? Isn't she the biggest celebrity in the United States?
Yeah,
like literally the biggest celebrity in the United States. Yeah, I think it's a big factor.
It's good for the league. Anyone who wants to hate, it is good for the league when you have as many eyes on your product as possible.
Yeah, and it ended up being one of the best games of all time. It was great.
Exactly. And I think you mentioned it like with the fan bases though. Like Kansas City is a big fan base, and like this is the building of a dynasty. Like people love like say what you want. People love dynasties. Like people tuned in for the Patriots. People tuned in for the Cowboys. You know, people tune in for dynasties to see it fall and to see it rise. So I think that definitely helped it. Niners obviously have a big draw, and like there's tons of storylines on top of Taylor Swift stuff. So I think it was a combination of a lot of different things, but yeah, doesn't really surprise me.
You know, okay, well, I want to ask you guys this question too. Mario, I couldn't agree with Mario more. Are dynasties good for sports? Are they needed in sports?
Yes.
You have to have dynasties. Even if it's not
100%.
your team, it is good for the sport. As good as if it's the funny thing is it's not the Dallas Cowboys. They haven't won in 30 years. But it's, you know, whether it's the Chiefs right now, whether it's, you know, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Chicago Bulls with Jordan, whether it's Alabama football, You have to have that team that if your team's not playing, man, I'm going to pay attention because I'm rooting for that team to lose, right? And if they're dynasties and people are on them, whether it's the Yankees and stuff, and going, man, I've always loved the pinstripes. There has to be that team that people are rooting against. Dynasties are great for the sport. They bring eyes to see, will you see an upset?
Yeah. Why do we have villains in movies, right? Because you have to root
Exactly
against
right.
somebody. Yeah. And also the whole thing with Patrick Mahomes' family, specifically his brother and his wife being annoying, like adds on to it too. To me, I feel like the fact that we have that going on as like a side plot to the Chiefs already being the best team makes it even like better. You want to see them miserable. At least I want to see them miserable. I don't know. Maybe I'm evil. But I love when there's dynasties in sports, like you said, because there's a standard, right? To get to the top of the mountain, you have to knock off that team. Unfortunate for Charger fans, that team's in our division. I've never been a fan of a team where the team that's on a dynasty run is in my division. I guess I'm a Laker fan, so I guess the Warriors had a dynasty, but it just sucks, man, because you got to get past them to get to the top.
Dynasties create fans. And I think that's like a really big thing here, right? Like when you hear people in the 90s talk about why they fell in love with the basketball and the NBA, it's like, oh, because we watched Jordan and the Bulls, and like this was like we're just fascinated by how good they were, how special of a player Jordan was, and then I became an NBA fan, and it's the same thing said about the Patriots, the Cowboys, like, oh well, we just started following it because like this was this insane thing of they just kept winning, and it creates fans, it creates feelings and emotion in a game, and that feelings and emotion goes both ways. Where if you're cheering for the dynasty, it's like, God, this is so great, and also if you're that team that gets that one upset win over them, right? Like if you're that Bucks fan, like we got him. We beat the Chiefs and we stopped him from getting a Mahomes a ring. If you're the Giants fans that have 2 over Tom Brady, and no organization can ever say that, there's a fire and a fuel and a memory that comes with that. I think also dynasties too, look at the effect they have on culture, right? The documentaries we get from the Patriots documentaries, they're amazing. The Jordan doc during COVID, I can recite you every word from that. Like they're amazing. And then the effect on culture, like the vintage shirt. I have like 8 vintage Bulls championship shirts that I weren't even alive for. I was alive for 1. And I was, you know what I'm saying? Like you have that everywhere. The Dallas Cowboys crap, like that stuff's everywhere. You'll see Patriots stuff more come in. Like the effect it has on the culture, the effect that it has growing the game is so many different ways. So I am all big fan of dynasties.
All right. So here, the good news is this. All right. For even before my time, is that the teams that became dynasties in the sport that we're talking about, the NFL, these teams all stunk before. They had no history and they're the laughing stock. The Pittsburgh Steelers, literally before 1970, were the biggest joke in the NFL. All right. Complete joke. They were the punching bag of the league. And all of a sudden, you get a guy like Terry Bradshaw, you get Mean Joe Green, you get Franco Harris, you get Jack Lambert. Boom, things change, and all of a sudden you're winning 4 Super Bowls and you have a bunch of Hall of Famers. The Patriots were a complete joke, completely embarrassed by the 85 Bears in the Super Bowl, embarrassed by Brett Favre in the Super Bowl against the Packers, and then the Patriots go on a crazy run, all right? And it happens. So my point is now, whether it's Harbaugh, the new stadium, new city, the whole deal, the Chargers can turn into that next dynasty. You got the franchise quarterback. You have everything you possibly need. You got the right coach. You have an owner all of a sudden is saying, I'm going to step back and pull my kids back and be supportive of whatever you need. The attitude of whatever you need to get it done, get it done. And that's what all great owners do. And so for the Chargers, literally by doing nothing, the whole deal and saving Sarah Marshall doing too much, he was doing too much. Whatever that was, you're doing too much. Okay. Do nothing and let Jim Harbaugh go ahead and take the reins, because you have a proven winner that wins and wins fast. The Chargers can be that next dynasty. And why not? Why not us? I mean, honestly, why not us?
You sound like the guy in was it Jonah Hill in Superbad? We could be the next mistake. Yeah, that could be us.
We could be that mistake.
Yeah, we can be that mistake. I don't have the betting odds in front of me, Mario, but I would definitely like to bet on the Chargers to win the Super Bowl in the next 3 years. I mean, we're the team that is the unknown. We're the one team in the NFL right now. Nobody knows what they're going to be next year. I thought you made a great point last show when you pointed out the pieces the Chargers do have. They have the building blocks. You got Rashawn Slater. You got the left tackle in place. You got the bona fide number 1 receiver. You got the big-time safety. Definitely, we don't have the linebacker. We got to get that figured out. But we got the head coach and the quarterback combination. I love what the Chargers have to build this thing in the right direction. I think we're definitely the team you got to be on the lookout for. I think a lot of these teams' windows are closing, frankly. I mean, Chiefs, as long as Mahomes is there, they're going to be competitive. within the AFC. I know the Ravens are a top dog. Lamar is just not the same player in the playoffs. Joe Burrow gets hurt all the time. Josh Allen turns the ball over all the time. It's not like these are juggernaut teams in the conference that can't be taken down. The Chiefs are the one team, obviously, you got to get past, but these other teams I think are very beatable.
And that's a good point because yeah, the AFC is tough, but at the same time, I'm looking at the teams ahead of the Chargers right now. So if KCRS is wondering, the Chargers are 25-1 right now to win the Super Bowl. And the teams ahead of them that have better odds: Houston Texans, Green Bay Packers, the Miami Dolphins, the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions, Cincinnati Bengals, Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Niners. And we mentioned like the AFC is tough, but at the same time, like Dolphins kind of have a Tua problem. Like if you watch Tua in that playoff game, he wasn't very good. Jets, you mentioned that getting old, Josh. Rodgers, realistically, this could be his last year. So in a window, gone and out the door. Pats, you're a light years away. Bills, you're getting older. Diggs is one temper tantrum from being gone. Gabriel Davis could be out the door. Sean McDermott's one bad speech away again from being fired. Browns are stuck with Deshaun Watson, who's not nearly as close to who he used to be. You have a really good defense. That always ends up falling apart. Look at the Tennessee Titans. Texans on your way up. Jacksonville has a Trevor Lawrence problem. Steelers need a QB. Bengals, like you said, they have Burrow, but how healthy can Burrow be? And they're going to have a lot of issues coming up with cap with all the receivers that they have. I don't know if it's this year, Dave, where like the Chargers take Super Bowl, but I think it's this next year where they go AFC Championship and it's a building block. And then I think in the 2 years after that and whatever comes after that, that's the Super Bowl run. That's the Super Bowl thing. What I want from this next year is just a simple playoff run of being in contention and go, hey, let's go AFC Championship and let's just show that we're here. I'm not saying I have to win anything, but show that we're here. And that to me would be success.
What I'm most interested in seeing is what are the Chargers? Like, what are Jim Harbaugh's Chargers? What is the culture? I really am curious to know what that roster is. I wish I could see 9 months into the future and see what that Charger roster is. Who's coming back, who's not a Jim Harbaugh guy, who is a Jim Harbaugh guy, whether that's through the draft, whether it's through free agency, whether it's guys he decided to keep. There's a story that came out that Jim Harbaugh wants Austin Eckler back. That was interesting to me. And go, Austin Eckler, you want him back? Now, maybe he's just saying that because the door's still open and they haven't made a final decision, but that was surprising to me that he would say that he wants Austin Eckler back. Not at the money Austin Eckler was making, that's for sure. I mean, he's a free agent and the guy's making $11 million a year and you're going, dude, you come back for maybe a third of that. You're out of your mind if you think you're getting paid that money because you didn't have the numbers. But I want to see what Jim Harbaugh's team looks like. This year for me is the culture of what Los Angeles Charger football is. That's really what I want to see. I want to see them obviously make a playoff run. But do I believe this is the year they win the Super Bowl overall? No, I don't believe. I don't believe they have the pieces yet. But I agree with Josh. Within the next 3 years, I expect us to be doing a Super Bowl postgame show, and we're talking about the Chargers.
The Austin Eckler comment was weird. Maybe he felt like he needed to make that statement so Austin could be offered less money and say, you heard me say I want you to be on the team. You're going to take the money or not. You obviously proved you're not a top running back in the league last year. That's why he got kicked out of San Francisco. If you remember, he kept calling for guys to get paid, and the GM's like, hey, slow down, dude. We can't pay everybody. So I thought it was an interesting comment. When you said, what are the Chargers' identity? That's been a big issue for the last 10 plus years. The Chargers don't have an identity. If anything, they're the team that gets punched in the face and just lays there. That's not going to be the case going forward. You can see this by the hires Jim Harbaugh's already brought in. Navarro Bowman getting brought in as the linebackers coach. He's one of my favorite players of all time. Unfortunately, he was in the shadow of Patrick Willis, one of the best linebackers we could all say of all time. But he is a guy that's hard-nosed. He's going to bring that intensity every practice. And, Greg Roman's a guy that I'm not a big fan of, but it seems like he's a very intense guy. And they have a lot of coaches they've brought in that are intense figures. To me, the Chargers have always had lax coaches that just stand there and they don't really get up in their players' faces. And I don't think you need to argue with your players and create a fight, but you want a player that has fight in him. And I feel like the Chargers are going to have that going forward. I'm very, very curious to what they do in the offseason through the draft and through free agency of what players they bring in that have that attitude. The Chargers have lagged that for a very, very long time. I'm looking for guys that have that Rodney Harrison edge to them, guys that are going to punch you in the face. Hopefully the Chargers bring in those types of players.
It's certainly a good start for it, right? He was part of that Niners defense that every quarterback, when they faced them, kind of pooped down our leg. They weren't really looking forward to playing them. And they're part of that Niners team that really kind of took the league on by storm. So obviously Bowman knows what it takes in a way and knows the process in getting there. And, he's familiar with Harbaugh and Harbaugh's system. And I think what's good for him is, Harbaugh is a hell of a coach, but we've mentioned it multiple times. Harbaugh's, he's a character. He's an interesting character. And I think to have someone on staff that's played for him, has had success with them, can be a good outlet for the players. Just be like, hey, like, this is what he really means when he's saying this. Like, this is what he really means when, we're doing this, or the mentality is this, or the message is this. Like, kind of helps the players understand the message even more, understand what's being asked of them more, and understand the culture that's being built. I'm always a big fan of coaches that bring in guys they coach, especially guys that were, just hell of a player. Bowman, 4-time Pro Bowler. I'm sorry, 4-time All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowl player. Like you said, Josh, very underrated guy because he was next to Patrick Willis, kind of like an Urlacher-Briggs situation where Briggs was always kind of overshadowed by Urlacher. But Dave, I'm a huge fan of the hire. Hope he brings attitude, spirit, and the mentality of, hey, we're going to punch you into the dirt, and then as soon as you get up, we're going to put you back down in it.
Dude, NaVorro Bowman, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated guys in the history of the NFL. Like, I couldn't even understand when his career came to an end and why it came to an end. If you look at NaVorro Bowman's numbers, and I was always a huge fan because he was in on so many tackles. I mean, he had a season where he had 154 tackles. Most seasons he played, he had well over 100 tackles. He was in on so many big plays and big games. I'm glad he's getting an opportunity that he didn't just disappear. Even his last year in limited time, he was averaging 7.3 tackles a game. He's around. He you don't run into just tackles by accident. You have to be able to read defenses, understand, anticipate what's happening. I love the fact that Jim brought him back to the NFL, and I love the idea that the players can go to a guy that was very successful, that obviously didn't always have to do it for, he wasn't red light NaVorro. He wasn't the guy looking for the camera. He was just a player that played the game and was always important on every team's defense. This was a great hire to me. Again, I can't understand why his playing career came to an end when he was so successful, but I saw him when the 49ers got rid of him, went to the Raiders, and he played against the Chargers. And in person, I'm like, God, this guy's outstanding. You couldn't stop staring at him. And then all of a sudden he's out of the league. And you're like, why the hell is he out of the league? But he was a tremendous player, and I'm really happy he's part of the staff.
I'm all for players that can kick ass, or coaches that can kick ass. Do you think anybody's going to tell NaVorro Bowman no? Like, what do you want me to do? What? Oh, it's you. Sorry about that. I mean, dude, come on now. Like, Brandon Staley, you want me to run a blitz? I don't feel like it right now. No, thanks.
Does he walk by
Bowman,
Joey?
what do you want me to do? Yeah.
Does he walk by Joey and goes, "Is that Raisin Bran?" And just knock the ball out of his hand. Now go get me one. Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought Luke Kuechly, by the way, is the guy that needs to be a coach. That guy's like the smartest player I've ever seen. But couldn't agree with everything you guys said about NaVorro Bowman. Super hyped about that. Bring in Patrick Willis too. Why not? Bring in all those guys from the 49ers that were really good players.
Unbelievable. All right, I want to look at this schedule, guys. I know we talked a little bit more than we thought, but we said we look at the schedule. So again, 17 game schedule. Chargers play 9 of those 17 on the road this year. Okay, 9 of the 17 on the road. So people who aren't aware, for the Chargers on the road, their schedule is, of course, inside the division. You got Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos. And then your road schedule goes like this. And I'm going to ask you guys for letter grade, A, B, C, D, F, like how hard this schedule is. You have the Browns on the road, Steelers on the road, Falcons on the road, Panthers, Patriots, and Cardinals on the road. Does that schedule scare you?
That has to be one of the easiest road schedules in the NFL.
I don't know. The Browns on the road and Steelers on the road really scares me.
And the Chiefs.
And the Chiefs. Right? I mean, yeah, obviously Chiefs, yeah.
Yeah, but you got the Falcons, Panthers, Patriots, Cardinals. Teams are ass.
Yeah. He's right. You have four what should be cakewalk teams on the road.
Yeah. I think if there's – I'm sorry, go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say they're ass again, but that wasn't a good comment. What do you guys say?
No, the moment this market opens up, I'm going to just hammer with everything I have. Patriots have the worst record of the NFL. Like, that's going to be the easiest cakewalk of the century. This team's going to be freaking miserable with a coach that's just not even prepared to be a head coach. I think it's good. The thing that really does scare me, I think the Steelers and Browns are going to be big trap games. Like that's going to be a huge trap game on the road. Steelers just with Tomlin, and right now it's suspected that they're going to get Fields. They're in on the Field sweepstakes, Dave. That one's the one that I'm like, that's going to be a little worrisome.
Okay, so again, we have the schedule, but we don't have the dates yet that they're gonna, play these games. So when you look at, some of these teams, for example, you don't want the Browns in December, you don't want the Steelers in December, you don't want the Patriots, right? You don't want weather to be a factor in these games. When you face these teams, you want to face them towards the beginning of the year, correct?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Okay.
Wait, I thought West Coast guys can handle weather.
Oh, I didn't say they couldn't. I'm just saying you don't want weather to be a factor. That's my whole point. I didn't say we couldn't. I'm telling you, I'm going to fight that to the dead die. So when you look at these 9 road games, give me a letter grade on you like the Chargers' chances: A, B, C, D, E, or F.
You're talking about for each individual opponent? We're going to go through each
No,
game?
total. Overall, how comfortable do you feel?
Okay. So you got the Falcons, Panthers, Patriots, Cardinals are bottom tier teams. None of those teams have quarterbacks that are established. So I'm going to go an A. I feel great about those. Mario said the Steelers and Browns, it being road games, I'm going to give those probably a C-. I think the Browns have a really good defense. Steelers are very, very tough to beat in Pittsburgh, even if they don't have a quarterback. Raiders on the road, I'm gonna go B. I feel good about that. Raiders don't have a quarterback. Broncos also don't have a quarterback. I'm gonna give that a C because it's much harder to play in Denver.
I'm laughing right now because there's a Raider fan who's listening to you going, "Didn't we just beat you by 60 in Las Vegas? Like, what were you watching?"
Yeah, who was calling the defense? Okay, next question. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking at the schedule right now, every team we play on the road except for the Chiefs and Browns don't have an established quarterback. I like our chances. Chiefs is an F. That's an F road game, but I really like our chances overall.
To your point, Josh, out of the 9 road games we'll have next year, 3 out of the 9 were playoff teams, right? So like Chiefs, Browns, Steelers are the only playoff teams from this past season. So if I had to give a grade for it, Browns, Steelers, like a B-, C+. That's where the range I lived in all through school. That's where I kind of sit just for like the road factor. Those are tough environments, tough defenses, well-coached teams. That's what's going to worry me. It does feel so good to say, gentlemen, that when I say well-coached, I know that the advantage doesn't go strictly to them because we have Staley. Like that was always the thing with every time we had a team, I'm like, God, they have the coaching advantage. Not anymore.
Yeah, we're down 14-0. Game hasn't started yet. What happened?
Literally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other ones, like maybe Falcons, I could see them starting with some fire and then that dies out really, really quickly.
A lot of talk. They're going to get Kirk Cousins. A lot of talk. Kirk Cousins is going.
He's not going to Atlanta.
I don't think so.
Going to Atlanta.
Even if he does, okay, All right.
We just kicked his ass last year.
Yeah.
He wants more.
Also, Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins in the same division. It's pretty funny. Let's just get all the guys that like are going to be backups soon in there.
Okay.
Dude, I like Kirk Cousins. Do you not like Kirk
I do
Cousins?
too.
Are we going to do this right now?
No,
Kirk
Cousins is a fantasy football king.
He is. Yeah. I like Kirk Cousins. I feel bad that he gets ragged on so much, but like I don't.
By you?
Like,
you feel bad that you just ragged on him right now?
I mean, I do because it's like I do feel bad, but like I just don't like him going to a team doesn't make me like go. They have Cousins now. Oh crap.
Yeah, I don't feel that way either. But I think he is a top 12 quarterback for sure.
Yeah. Now my question to you guys though is like, how different is this Cardinals team going to be?
Why are they going to be different?
I mean, it's Murray's going to be healthier. Glennon's like not that bad of a coach. He got that defense like pretty solid.
They play hard. Cardinals did play hard.
And then they need wideouts. Obviously, it's like they could have be an average offseason away from being like a hard team to play.
Dude, let me tell you something. They lose to the Cardinals. I'm telling you right now, we can't do a live show that day. I'm going to lose my mind. I don't care who they get. I don't care who they get in the draft. I don't care if they get through free agency. If they lose to the Cardinals, we cannot do a live post-game show. I'm going to be furious. Like, I'm marking this down. That's a win.
People like our angry live post-game shows.
True.
People like to see us sad. It's true. Yeah. Mario, to answer your question, I don't think there's any easy game in the NFL. So I'm not going to say it's a cakewalk against anybody, but I do expect the Chargers to absolutely win the Cardinals game. I think there's too many holes on that team. Even with a healthy Kyler Murray, I don't think they're that great.
What? Okay, so another follow-up question. What would be like the worst back-to-back road games for this? Like, what do you think would be the worst of it? Like, if they had to go at KC,
Pittsburgh
like,
and KC.
Pittsburgh and KC. Okay. What about you, Dave?
Oh, it's for me it'd be Cleveland and Casey.
Okay, why?
I think the Browns are good. I think the Browns are dangerous. It's funny. I think Deshaun Watson's the weak point of that franchise right now. But the Browns are a good team. I mean, Mark, you called it last year before the season started. Watch out for the Browns. You're right.
Yeah, boy, did that take some dips. Wow.
They went through 5 starting quarterbacks and they still made the postseason. And they were favored in their playoff game.
And no Nick Chubb. Like, Chubb didn't play. Yeah.
My favorite part of the Browns last year was the Joe Flacco speech. Do you remember that, Mario?
No, what was it?
After their last regular season game, he like huddled. This actually happened, by the way. He huddled the team in the locker room and like locked eyes with everybody in the room. And he's like, hope you guys are ready to embark on the greatest 5-week journey of your lives. And then they lose in their first game.
It's amazing. That is amazing.
Oh, man. That is so funny.
Dude, I just remember him going in, playing better than he's ever played in his life on national TV, and then they show him with a camera and he's sleeping on the bench. He's like, I'm gonna take a nap. Just let me know when it's our turn to get the ball back. Old man Joe. It was crazy.
Awesome.
I mean, it was really an amazing storyline. People are really upset that that he wins his comeback player of the year award. The guy was insane. Anyway, that's for me. You look at some of the guys that are obviously on the road schedule, and you go, all right, good. At least the Panthers are on our schedule, right? You look at it, and I know there are people who aren't Charger fans who are watching or listening to us right now saying, guys, take it easy. You know how many games you won last year? You know how many teams are looking at the schedule too, going, Chargers are coming to town? Check. You think whatever you want. It's not the same franchise. This is a different franchise than the ones you saw years past. This is a different move.
Quick question. What would it take for you to be nervous about the Broncos on the road?
Quarterback.
Rookie or vet?
Quarterback. No, vet. A real quarterback.
Okay.
Like if they ended up with like Kirk Cousins,
yeah,
then I'd be scared.
The Broncos
probably
are
be a
different
really good
than
team.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, 100%. They need to put up points. I mean, that's their whole thing.
Okay. So it'd be Cousins. Would Fields do it for you, Dave?
Okay, so the rumor is Fields is going to end up in this division next year, but he's supposed to end up with the Raiders. Yeah, everything you're reading is that Fields ends up with the Raiders. I don't think Fields ends up with the Broncos. I don't think that's the case. If you're Jim Harbaugh, you could say already, you could write a speech for him getting ready for that game, right? We're facing a team inside our division. This is an important game. These games are like 2 games instead of 1 game. And don't forget that coach over there wanted this job. He wasn't good enough for this job. This is about us. This is proven to that guy right there that we own this division. And we're going to make him sorry that he didn't get hired as the Chargers coach. We're going to pound. We're going to beat the hell out of the Denver Broncos today.
Whoa.
I cleaned it up.
It's not a live show.
Yeah.
That's not an editing point right there, but still.
Yeah, because we cut you off. I think Justin Fields is actually an underrated quarterback, Mario. And I know we ragged on him all last year, but I think he actually got
23% of his games.
Yeah, well, his team sucked. Do you not think he got better at the end of last season? I thought he looked way better. Do you, Dave? Serious? Do you honestly think he's not that good?
I hate to say it. When the bar's that low, it's kind of hard to go lower.
Can you just make a short joke?
No, I'm saying when you suck that bad, it's hard to suck worse. Come on, dude. Overall, what's his career record? He's like 7-38 or something. He's terrible.
He's like the 20th best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, 32 teams.
I'd have him a little higher than that.
Where you do now, until he doesn't live in the same city as you. Mario acts like he's going to knock on his door and punch him in the face. He's not, Mario. You can say whatever you want.
I think he's a very good quarterback. I think he's a good QB that deserves a second chance. I think if he goes to the Raiders, it would literally be the dumbest move he would ever make in his career. Absolutely the dumbest, stupidest. What the hell are you doing? Go back to the offensive. But you're gonna go back to the offensive coordinator that didn't help you at all. And the start of the past 2 seasons, Getsy has tried to make him a pocket passer, and then midway he goes, "Oh, this is not a good idea." Like, dude, no, like read the writing on the wall. Like that would be one of the worst things to happen to him. I think Denver would be the best. I don't know if they have anything. I obviously don't have in front of me the draft capital that they have, but I
They have
think
nothing. They traded it all away for Russell Wilson.
that's what I mean. Is like I think Steelers is his best option to revamp his career. It's only the Steelers, and I
What
hate
about
that.
Atlanta?
But shut up, Bobby. I
Yeah, what
don't.
about Atlanta?
I mean, division's weak, so yeah, like flirt with it. It's probably the second best, but I think first best is still Pitt.
There's a quarterback ranking that's circulating on Twitter that's caught up, a lot of retweets and stuff like that. 21st is where they have Justin Fields.
You agree with that one?
Let me name every quarterback real quick they put ahead of him. You tell me which one you disagree with, okay?
Okay.
I want to see Mara get mad.
I already know.
Sorry.
I'm already.
Mad.
Yeah, go.
Start at
What do you want?
20.
20? Baker Mayfield.
Shut up.
I'm taking Baker Mayfield, dude. He
Me
made the
too. What are you
playoffs.
talking about? He's in the
I'm
playoffs.
taking Fields.
You're biased. Number
Longevity too.
19, Tua.
Okay. Yeah. McDaniels
Number
helps a lot with
18.
that.
Number 18, Brock Purdy.
Shut the
What
Hold on,
do you,
Shanahan.
Mario, stop.
What are you talking about?
Stop.
Shanahan
Don't
helps.
simple.
I get that, but Shanahan helps a lot with that.
He went to the NFC Championship game and then the Super Bowl his first 2 years.
Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Jalen Hurts.
One guy, by the way, was taken number 1, and one
Jalen
guy
Hurts
was
is
Mr.
that
Relevant.
low.
Jalen's number 17.
Okay.
Okay. 16, you're probably going to disagree with this. Anthony Richardson.
Dude, how's
I
Anthony
disagree with
Richardson
it.
ahead of?
I agree.
Me too. How's Anthony Richardson ahead of Tua and Jalen?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. All right.
Dude, timestamp this. I'm timestamping this. Week 5 of next year, when AR is nothing close to what everyone thinks he is, I'm gonna pop champagne on a live show and chug it because I'm telling you, it's gonna happen, or he's gonna be hurt already.
Yeah, he's Robert Griffin III. He's going to get hurt until his career's over, which I hate to say that about anybody, but it looks like it's going that direction. Number 15,
All right,
Aaron
right,
Rodgers.
hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I got Mario. I agree with you on this. Okay, Justin Fields is better than Anthony Richardson. It doesn't make any sense at all. All right, I'm with Mario. I don't understand the list
I'm
now.
with it.
Kind of, you lose some credibility right there when a guy that didn't play, couldn't stay healthy, and didn't do anything in college, all of a sudden is ranked ahead. At least Justin Fields showed that he could take a team to the national championship game. Anthony Richardson has never done a damn thing. They always tell that story about Anthony Richardson when they got all the rookies together last year and how he stayed behind with the wait staff because the rookies made a mess. And so he helped clear all the tables. Well, that's great because when things don't work at the NFL, he'll be doing that permanently. So at least we know he has experience on the resume.
That was
Stop.
coming.
I said it.
That was
Yeah.
coming.
Damn it. All right, number 15,
That was
Aaron
off my bingo
Rodgers.
card. Okay.
All right, 14, Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Why you roll your
13.
eyes?
Yeah, don't even do this right now. Jared Goff is definitely better than Justin
No,
Fields.
I know.
All right, number 13, we got Kirk Cousins.
This is a crazy QB list. If I would just like to add while we keep going.
You're going to hate the next one.
Okay.
Number 12 is Geno Smith.
How high are we, gentlemen? I mean, what type of reefer are we on tonight? Are you serious?
What's this week?
Gino?
Yeah.
Who's
Geno,
this
number
from?
12.
Who's this from? Can you shout out the brilliant rider?
The 33rd team.
I respected him.
Okay. Number 11. So I disagree with I'm still going to say Geno's better than Justin Fields for now, but I like Justin Fields.
Okay.
All right. Number 11, they have Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10, they got Jordan Love.
God, that's
Your
such
boy.
a kick to the balls. Yeah. He looks so
Nope.
good this year.
Yeah, he looked great.
Shut up,
Number-
Dave. Shut up. Turn your
I just
camera
laugh
off.
at anything Packers is funny. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're about to get edited out.
All right.
There's no way you can disagree with the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
Number 9, Joe Burrow, which is way too low.
Wow.
Number 8, Trevor Lawrence, which is way too high. Way too high.
I'd put him like 15.
Yeah.
I'd take
I would-
Fields over Lawrence. After this past year.
Yeah. Past year was bad. Number 7, CJ Stroud.
Yeah, makes sense.
Number 6, Dak Prescott.
Too high.
Okay.
Too high.
Dak's too high.
I agree.
Number 5, Matt Stafford. Too high, in my opinion. Top 10,
Yeah.
but too high. And then number 4, you got Justin Herbert.
Okay. Makes
Number
sense.
3, Josh Allen.
Makes sense.
Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes.
He just won his second MVP. What's wrong with your neck? What are you talking about?
I said it when he won it. I'll say it again. Look at his stats. Look at everything. I'd put Allen in front of him. Just saying. I'd take Allen over Lamar. 110%. 110%.
Josh Allen's a turnover machine.
How many playoff wins? Oh, wait. Oh, I love this. How many playoff wins does Lamar have?
I think like 1, right? 2.
Okay, so would you put Brock Purdy ahead of Josh Allen? Ahead of Lamar Jackson?
No, it was just a point, Dave. I'm trying to steer away from it. What we're on top of.
We got to do our
Yeah.
quarterback
Let's
rankings
get
soon.
together.
This is a good.
Yeah,
conversation.
we need to
I'm all
bring.
fired up.
Should we do this for the next show?
Well, we have.
QB
We,
rankings?
I tell you, next show we're going to hold back the home schedule too because we're going to
Yeah.
go way too long.
Obviously. Yeah.
All right.
Mario's having a bad day. Things were going so well.
Geno Smith one's insanity to me.
Dude, the Anthony Richards one's insanity.
Yeah.
That's
Let
crazy.
me
my
name the.
God,
Let me name the. Sorry, I'm gonna reel this off real quick. The
Yeah.
guys below Justin Fields. Okay,
Okay.
22 all the way down to 32. Obviously, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Bryce Young, Desmond Ritter, Deshaun Watson, crazy,
Wow.
number 27, Will Levis, Sam Howell, AOC, Kenny Pickett, Bailey Zappi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think the Steelers are the last team to know that Kenny Pickett's not it?
I don't
Like we all know
understand
Kenny
this.
Pickett's not
Yeah,
it.
what is happening? Like the dude cannot play. Like move on. It makes no sense.
maybe the hometown kid thing comes into play? Or like they
That's a
really
big
want to keep the
mistake.
hometown kid? Yeah.
Then you
Yeah, what
shouldn't
team is
draft
James
a kid
Conner
from the
on?
hometown. Yeah.
How did that work
Yeah.
out?
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
kicked him out of town, and he'd been through a lot.
Another great episode of the Bolt City Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in a couple days. We're going to go through the home schedule. So now we're done to do this
Live.
quarterback list. We're
Live.
going live.
F
Do it live.
I'm doing it live.
Live. F it, going live. Like we're Paul Pierce.
All right. It'll be a good time. So you want to give the time again, Mario?
3 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Italy, 1 p.m. PT, 4 p.m. Eastern, Mountain Time. That's 5. Australia.
No.
What are you
No,
talking?
Mountain
What do you
Time
think
is
the
not-
mountains are?
Yeah.
Mountain Time's 1 for Central. So it's wait.
Wait, what?
Now you got me to pretzel. No, you're right. Mountain Time's 5 p.m.
No, it's not.
Mountain Time is in between Central Time
No.
and Pacific Time.
Yes. Mountain Time would be 2 p.m.
Yes.
Yes.
We got there. Doesn't matter.
2
how you
p.m.
get there.
Mountain 2 p.m. Mountain Time. If you're in Australia, it'd be 12 hours ahead or behind. So whatever. 12 hours ahead or behind, that's up to you to figure out. Tune in.
Josh had a friend when in high school with that literally was, I think she was on East Coast time and we were on West Coast time. And she
Oh
said
my
she gets to
gosh.
see the game before all of us. That was it.
She was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And she was bragging on Twitter that she knew the scores to all the March Madness games 3 hours before everybody else. And I texted her, which I don't even know. And I was like, you need to delete your tweet. You sound like the dumbest person of all time.
Wow. That backfire for the poor girl.
Yeah, she's trying to brag. Well, I know who won the Villanova game. Yeah, so do I. I was watching it.
It's crazy. I just saw it too.
All right. We'll be back.
You should have done the brag where it's like, oh, it's already 2024 here.
Yeah.
Should have done.
All right. We'll be back in a couple of days. We're going live. Again, appreciate everyone giving the show a chance. It's off the rails a lot, but hell, it's what we do. All right. So for Mario Heron, Josh Pele, I'm Dave Pele. Thanks for the people listening through the Odyssey app. Of course, Bolt City Podcast, YouTube channel. Appreciate the comments. Doing our best to answer every single one of them. We do read every single one of them. We'll catch you in a couple days going live.